Welcome back to another episode of Goat Worthy Reactions, where we mainly like to focus on goats on this channel. And today we're going to be reacting to none other than the unicorn, who is REN. So I guess this album is called Freckled Angels, huh? Because the last Love Music Part 1 also had the Freckled Angels cover. So this might be an album called Freckled Angels. I'm going to have to look into that. I know that already, though. I think he talked about that. When did he talk about? This is his older stuff. So it's cool to see him grow. It's cool to see that even 8 years ago he was still stupid nice. Like, that's cool to see, because a lot of people, like, not that they suck, but their sound needs a lot of development. His sound definitely developed, and it's more about the experience that he developed. I think it was the transition of being misdiagnosed at this time and being properly diagnosed today, and just the struggle. So a lot of that was development, as far as like his actual life developed, so his sound developed. But at the same time, he was still nice back then, which is cool to me. So let's get right into Love Music Part 2. If this is your first time ever watching my channel, your first time ever watching me react to REN, go into the description box below. I got Making-A-RENegade Part 1 and 2. So there's 2 seasons. Right now I'm working on Season 2. This is Season 2, Episode 8, I believe. And the whole Season 1 is out now. Some episodes might be on the Patreon, but let's get right into it. Part 2.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
Oh, we know that sound.
How's my levels? Is that coming out okay? Can you hear me? Hang on. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hello. Oi, what do you get if you take a Welsh boy? Mix in some lunacy, mix in some noise, mix in affliction with music addiction, conviction and friction, and leave it to boil. Friend, but don't overcook me please. Serve me with the fine wine and the cheddar cheese, cause I'll immature with age and I don't deep freeze, cause I'll melt your freezer with the fire that I preach.
Hey.
I speak metaphors in my sleep, soliloquies in solitude, my mind on the beat. Neat, I repeat words retweet, I said neat. I repeat words retweet. I chase pretty girls till I'm weak. I was talking to this one girl just last week. She said, "Ren, you're so tongue-in-cheek," but it was hard to hear a talk with my tongue in the cheek. Half animal and cannibal, I'm flammable, it's tangible. My casual, yeah, radical, grammatical mind is practical, impactful, and really quite supernatural, detachable from my skull socket in my spine.
Insane, is he possessed by a monster? Hunchback of Notre Dame type posture, clasping his hands like a rapist lobster.
Talk like Tony Montana, mobster. Say hello to my little friend once again. I got more lines than a cocaine den.
Hey.
I'll say you once again if you forget. Ren, fill your lungs out like a cigarette. Haha, the kiddie with the wordplay fetish. Alliteration of a lines are lush like lettuce. I live my life with love and light, illuminate like lightning. The liberation leader with linguistics of a lion. You know it's all just fun and games, yeah, honey. You got me smiling like there's something funny.
You hear that?
Music sees my soul like melted honey, and I love it, yeah. Yes, I sink MCs like battleships plundered. Twist words like Tony Hawk's.
Pause it. Yeah, I like this, man. It's cool because even with the first one, it had a funky vibe. This also has a funky vibe, a little more of a jazzy funk. But I love the instruments, the actual music. When I mean the music, I mean like the production, the sounds, the instruments that are being used. Like, I wonder how involved he is with the actual instruments. I know he makes a lot of the beats, but like, you got to be one creative juicer, man. Like, he's a sponge in this music game. If he's producing this beat at this time 8 years ago in his early 20s, that's magnificent, man. That's a lot of talent. That's a lot of talent. But you know, one thing I'm gonna say about REN is that he's from a different time. He's from the time of the Eminems and stuff like that. You know why? Because when those dudes were in their early 20s, they were magnificent. They were superior rappers. Like, just think about it. Just think about what Tupac was rapping about. He died at 25. Just think about all the stuff he was rapping about 5 albums before he died. You know, in the beginning when he dropped in 1990, 91, Strictly for My Ninjas or Tupacalypse Now. Like, all those albums, the stuff he was talking about in there. But anyways, I had to let that verse and that hook play because it was too much of a funk going on. I couldn't interrupt that. But he said, "Oi." He said, "What do you get when you take a Welsh boy, mix in some lunacy, mix in some noise, mix in affliction with music addiction, conviction, and friction, and leave it to boil?" Ooh, I love when you do the when you end it with a, let's say, oi rhyme, right? Boy rhyme, boil rhyme, or whatever, noise rhyme. But in the middle of it, you give them the mixing affliction with music addiction, conviction and friction, and leave it to boil. Like, came back to that oi rhyme. I love that type of rhyme structure, man. Eminem is known for that. But a lot of rappers who are top lyricists, they love that kind of stuff. Tech Nine, they love that kind of stuff because that stuff just, like, once you start a new rhyme scheme and you drag it for like almost 4 lines just to bring back the line you brought up in the second bar scheme, yo, it makes you forget and then you remind them, punch, you know what I'm saying? So that's dope. I like that. But I feel like Ren introduces himself with humor now, right? With a bit of just, I don't know, just self-awareness, like describing himself as a Welsh boy, you know, with a mix of lunacy, he says, and noise. It's like he's framing his persona in a blend of just chaos and creativity, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes him, you know what I mean? Affliction with music addiction, that, like, just that to me just suggests that he sees music as a cure, like hinting at his struggles and how he channels them into his art almost, right? Like, I feel like that's how he takes in music, and that's how he treats music, and that's how he appreciates music, right? So Ren, don't overcook me, please. Serve me with a fine wine and cheddar cheese, cause I'll immature with age. I don't deep freeze. I'll immature with age. I don't deep freeze, cause I'll melt your freezer with the fire that I preach. So now he's flexing. Now he's flexing, right? He's flexing now. Because Ren sees himself as someone who I would say improves with time. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like what I was saying in the beginning, right? It's like fine wine or cheese. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like when I, not when I think ahead, but when I speak ahead a little bit and it kind of lines up to what he was doing. I feel like it just confirms, like, not that I really be knowing what he's thinking, but I really be connecting to what he's saying. Even if I'm off a bit, I love the fact that I really feel connected when he raps, though. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's like his refusal to conform, right? Or be packaged like these other rappers, right? That's why it's important to stay independent, especially for somebody like Ren. But like industry artists are packaged, you know what I'm saying? They're put together, they're plants, what people would like to say, right? So he's suggesting that his artistry is better when it's raw, you know, and intense. So don't overcook me. You know what I'm saying? So his passion is raw. You know, his emotions are raw, right? His artistry is better that way. He's promising that his words will heat things up and, you know, and break out of any boxes people tried to put him in, right? You can't put him in a box. We all know this. He's a unicorn. That's why I call him a unicorn. He's not a goat. He's a unicorn. He is a goat. He's a goat as well, but he's a unicorn because he's just different. You know what I mean? But he said, I taste pretty girls till I'm weak. He said, I was talking to this one girl just last week. She said, Ren, you're so tongue-in-cheek, but it was hard to hear her talk with my tongue in her cheek. I like that, too. That was dope. That was so, because, like, I like when he gets playful with it. I know everybody's telling me, yo, Love Music Part 3 and 4, those are my favorite. I like this. Even though we're building up to, you know what I'm saying, those two, I still enjoy this, though. I still very much enjoy this. But half animal, half cannibal, half casual, yet radical, grammatical, mind is practical, impactful, and really quite supernatural, detachable from my skull socket in my spine. I feel like the tongue-in-cheek line, though, specifically, before, I don't want to overlook that. I just feel like that line, it's just a playful, you know what I'm saying? It's just, he just shows his, like, mischievous ways, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has that side to them, you know what I'm saying? So he's blending romance and humor with clever wordplay. That's all I would say. But I feel like here, though, the whole description he's giving himself, right? He describes as half animal, half cannibal. That's Brahmi Eminem. He's in a freestyle. He's a half cannibal, half animal, part mechanical. That's crazy, right? And Ren said this 8 years ago. So then you know, I'm telling you, Ren is from a different era. He's from the eras of the Eminems. I'm telling you, man. But that's clever. I like that. But he's describing himself as, you know, half animal, half cannibal. You know, capturing, I feel like, a raw, almost primal energy in his approaches to music. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, he's all about what he said, impactful, right? Lines that just, I guess, resonate deeply. The way I would describe how I connect, right? So the last line he has is just super surreal quality, right? Detachable from my skull socket in my spine. Like, I just feel like he's suggesting that his creativity flows from a place beyond the physical, as though his ideas are detachable and boundless almost, right? And I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that description. Insane. He said, insane. He possessed by a monster, a hunchback of Notre Dame type posture. He said, clasping his hands like a Bitch lobster, talk like Tony Montana. Monster. He did like that funny voice. Like he's done that voice. Where else did he do that voice? Y'all put it in the comment section. I forget where he did that voice. But I like this because Rain kind of leans. He's really leaning into this dark humor right here with this track, right? And it's just self depreciation. I would say, presenting himself with this intensity of a monster, right? So the line is gritty. He's referencing Tony Montana from Scarface. We all know that, right? As to say he's not afraid to be like the villain in the eyes of those who don't get him, who don't understand him, right? If you want to misjudge me, fine. And it's kind of like, we need a bad guy, right? So we can point the finger and say that's the bad guy, like kind of what Scarface said in the movie. So I feel like he really embraced that, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't even reference it technically, but I know that's what he was getting at. So then he gets into the chorus where he's like, this music, something, and honey. He said, all fun and games, yeah, you got me, honey. He's smiling like this. There's something funny. I like that. It's a smooth hook. He's not doing too much on the hook on this one, I would say, right? But in the chorus, like, I feel like Ren does take, a lighter tone. He's embracing music as just a source of joy and fun. You know what I'm saying? It's the hook ain't that deep, but the line just almost like, I don't know. It's a reminder that, despite the intense lyrics in his verse, right, and the deep themes, he finds happiness and I would say a sense of release from the music. That's really what it's boiling down to, right? It's not all serious. Sometimes it's just about, I don't know, the love of the craft. You know what I'm saying? And he really flexes that. I like when he flexes, like on Losing It. He flexes that a lot. He flexed that on the Halftime. He flexed that on the Hunger. I'm sure y'all just watched recently because I dropped it on YouTube. But yeah, I like this, man. I like the angle he goes at. And then, so let's get right into, now we got verse 2. Let's get right into it.
Yes, I sink MCs like battleships plundered. Twist words like Tony Hawk's 900. Post that quote on Tumblr. Reblog that quote if you want to, dub. Cause I'ma bring the love, I'ma sing the love. Half chav, half hippie, I'm a chippy love. And I was raised in the country, not the city, bruv. So I'm stabbing up cheese, never people blood. Because we need some love, we need it like a drug. And even if you're feeling minging like an ugly pug, you deserve a hug. Cause man, believe me, yes, you're brilliant. I shake the scene like Shakespeare, now they call me William. I'm killing them all over every border and meridian. I'm giving them my idiom, so harder than iridium. I'm purer than Bolivian, I'm deeper than amphibians. A dippy lippy, pretty looking hippie village of the year. You know it's all just fun and games, yeah, honey. You got
He
me
killed that last
smiling
part.
like there's something funny. This
Oh
music
my
soothes
God, he
my soul
bodied
like
that.
melted honey. And I love it, yeah. Remember in the 90s, people used to sing rap, but I'ma try to bring that right back.
I gotta run it back. I need to hear that again.
I'm giving them my idiom so
Yeah.
blundered. Twist words like Tony Hawk's 900. Post that quote on Tumblr. Reblog that quote if you want to, dub. Cause I'ma bring the love, I'ma sing the love. Half chav, half hippie, I'm a chippy love. And I was raised in the country, not the city, bruv. So I'm stabbing up cheese, never people blood. Because we need some love, we need it like a drug. And even if you're feeling minging like an ugly pug, you deserve a hug. Cause man, believe me, yes, you're brilliant. I shake the scene like Shakespeare, now they call me William. I'm killing them all over every border and meridian. I'm giving them my idiom so harder than iridium. I'm purer than Bolivian, I'm deeper than amphibians. A dippy lippy, pretty looking hippie village of the year. You know
What's dope
it's
was,
all
listen,
just fun.
let me tell you what's dope about stuff like that. When people start rapping like William and Villian, and like he said a bunch of words that people don't use for those type of rhyme structures, like killing it and feeling them and willing them to dealing them and peeling them and feeling them. Like that's what people use, right? He didn't say any of those words. He said Bolivian, amphibian. He was killing that shit. He said a whole bunch of other words, right? And that shows and this is 8 years ago, but that just shows his vocabulary stretch, right? He's got a wide vocabulary. I like that. That was dope. Let's keep it going, man. Oh, actually, let's break down verse 2. My bad, I'm bugging. Let's break down verse 2. Let's go back to the verse. Yeah, he said, yeah, I sink MCs like battleships plunder, twist words like Tony Hawk 900, post a quote up on Tumblr. He said, post that quote on Tumblr, reblog that quote if you want to, love, right? So now, like, I feel like Ren is he's flexing his lyrical skills here, right? But comparing himself to like a pirate sinking ships and to like Tony Hawk pulling off a 900, a degree, it's pretty impressive, right? It's a pretty impressive spin if you know anything about skating or whatever. But I feel like this line showcases his talent for intricate rhyme schemes though, right? That's the stuff that really popped out at me. And like metaphors. These are metaphors. These are parallels. It's duality rapping is what he's doing right now, right? So post that quote on Tumblr. That speaks to how I guess his words are catchy enough to be shared online. You know what I'm saying? That's all he's saying. Like quote me, you know what I'm saying? Almost like he's daring people to make his lines go viral. That's funny. I like it. He said, "Cause I'm gonna bring the love and I'm gonna sing the love half chaff." He said, half chav. I don't know what chav means. Half chav, half hippie, half chippy, love. He said, and I was raised in the country, not a city, bruv. And I'm stabbing up cheese, never people blood. Yo, his accent just kills me, man. This shit's hilarious. But, you know, it's just playful mixes, right, of identities, I would say, right? Half chav, half hippie. I don't know what half chav means, but yeah, I'm sure y'all going to tell me in the comment section. That might be like a UK thing, or some UK slang or Welsh slang. I'm not really sure. But showing he doesn't fit neatly into any box is what he's really pointing towards, right? That's what I was, you know, stabbing up cheese, never people blood, right? So in a, I guess, a humorous take on like avoiding violence or just focusing instead on the things that are just harmless and like lighthearted, like cheese, you know what I'm saying? You know, symbolizing his down to earth roots almost, I would say. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I like how his direction of breaking things down, it's never normal. And it's never something people could just say in conversation. It's always like another level, right? Because we need some love. We need it like a drug. And even if you're, he said, even if you're, what did he say here? Even if you're what? He said, we need love, we need it like a drug. What happened to my lyrics? What lyrics did I just post? We need some love. Even if you deserve a plug. My bad, where am I? And we need some love. We need it like a drug. We need it like a drug, even if you're feeling mean. Exactly. Okay, and then continue. He goes, because we need some love. We need it like a drug. And even if you're, he said, and even if you're feeling minging like a ugly pug, you deserve a hug. Cause man, believe me, yes, you were brilliant. He said, I shake the scene now like Shakespeare. Oh, he said, I shake the scene like Shakespeare. Now they call me William. That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. Just think about how Eminem calls himself Shakespeare on Renegade, right? It's just a different way to him to compare himself to Shakespeare, right? And they're both very accurate. They're both Shakespeare. You know what I'm saying? They both got very Shakespeare ways. Eminem could really get in a Shakespeare poetic bag if he wants to. So can REN. He's doing it right now. So he's acknowledging, I feel like, his desire to, I don't know, leave a lasting mark on the music scene, right? Or just blending highbrow reference with like streetwide language, you know what I'm saying? So he's able to bring a lot of worlds into one, you know what I'm saying? I know this for a fact because REN's fan base, even his older crowd, people who never listened to rap ever, are now talking about, they call it the double, they understand the entendres, and like they're really into the music now. That's pretty dope that he could bring those two worlds together. Eminem did a lot of the same thing when he first came out. He brought two worlds together. He brought people that never listened to hip hop to other, you know, listen to other musicians. I know that happened to me. Every time Eminem would quote somebody, I'd be like, who the hell is that he's quoting? I go look it up and go, you know, find out they're dope artists, you know. So that's dope. And REN does that a lot just by his references, right? Reminding people that there's great musicians out there and they inspired him. And I think that's important, man. Paying homage is always important. And I'm always a fan of that. Anybody who pays homage, I'm a fan of that. Yeah. But anyways, let's get into the third verse, man. Let's keep it going.
Bolivian, I'm deeper than amphibians. A dippy lippy, pretty looking hippie villager. Do you, you know it's all just fun and games, yeah, honey. You got me smiling like there's something funny. This music soothes my soul like melted honey. And I love it, yeah. Remember in the 90s, people used to sing rap, but I'ma try to bring that right back. Sean Paul taught me how to beat, and Shaggy told him it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But I saw you on the CCTV. It wasn't me. Breaking into Toys R Us last week. It wasn't me. You were dressed like a ninja sheep and using Furbies like bowling balls. Seriously, you're insane, man. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You're talking to yourself. You're a mother flicking that art. You're losing the plot more than Quantum of Solace. That film, seriously, really quite bollocks. James Bond type reflexes. Shaken, not stirred when I'm mixing up my letters. GoldenEye fixed on the thunderbolt, check this. Diamonds are forever, so I eat them for breakfast. Live another day, but tomorrow never dies. I live and let die, but you only live twice. Through your eyes only, see it through your eyeballs. And I fell off the moon, rake a skyfall. You got to know, I got the flow. I'm Dr. No, with the license to kill.
Yeah.
The man with the golden gun type skill.
Yeah.
Octopussy means 8 girls, that's ill. Gold finger? Nah, golden tongue. And I'm sending this message from Russia with love. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I went to Casino Royale. The world is not enough.
Woo. The music, man, the music. Dope, fire, man, fire. I loved it. I love the references, man. He went crazy with the references on this song. I think more than usual, honestly. I think more than usual, right? What do y'all think? He said, I remember in the 90s, people used to sing rap. Well, I'm going to try to bring that ride back. Sean Paul taught me how to be, and Shaggy told me that it wasn't me. It wasn't me. He did a little funny voice. He just reflecting on what influenced him, right, from the 90s, you know what I'm saying? It's a time when rap had a certain, I always say, rap had some melodic storytelling qualities back then, man. They did, you know. Shaggy's It Wasn't Me, that wasn't really 90s. I was like early 2000s, but, you know, still though, Sean Paul style, you know, I like who he's pointing to that influenced him, you know what I'm saying? I had different influences, but I'm just trying to kind of speak to like his icons and people from that era that he kind of grew up in, right? Because these people did come out in the 90s, but some of these songs were like early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? I remember I was like in junior high when It Wasn't Me came out, but Shaggy's dope though. Shaggy is dope, and Sean Paul's super talented as well. So he just uses these references, I guess, just to reconnect with his roots. You know, his roots to hip hop. You know, the things that first gave him like that influence or that feel of confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's important. But he said, but I saw you on the CCTV. On the CCTV, it wasn't me. Breaking into Toys R Us last week, it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? You were dressed like a ninja sheep. That's hilarious. And using Furby's like bowling balls. Seriously, that's hilarious, man. The lines, there's a lot of humor in this song, which is good. It's fun, you know what I'm saying? Using, you know, the "it wasn't me" concept to just, I don't know, imagine absurd scenarios, right? That he got into, right? As a youth, as an adolescent coming up, but dressing as a ninja sheep and using Furbies and bowling ball. That's hilarious, you know what I'm saying? It's just like a childlike imagination is what he's trying to, I guess, make you imagine, I would say, right? He's referencing like a break from, you know, heavier themes, you know, showing he doesn't always take himself so seriously, you know what I'm saying? He can have fun, and that's important. When I heard Losing It, it was so different, but I was like, I like this because it felt good to just hear him have fun with it, you know what I'm saying? Have fun with it, man. But you're insane, Ren. He said, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. You talking to yourself. You're a motherfucking nutter. He said, you're losing the plot more than he said Quantum of Solace. He said that film seriously really quite bollocks. I don't even know how how does he think to use these words in this manner? Like sometimes Eminem does this, right? He'll say words that I've heard before, but you don't really use them in everyday. Like Eminem said upward the other day. Not the other day, but I reacted to I forgot what song it was on a Recovery album. I did the whole Recovery album reaction on the Patreon, but he said something about, made it rain upward. I was just like, who rhymes that? Who? That was just, I don't know, it's just different. Whenever people get in their unique bag, I'm easily impressed, and I know it's like, you know, I know people are like, oh, that's not that hard. That's not a bar. Everybody's always looking for a bar. I'm just looking for uniqueness and just different. You know what I'm saying? I want to see somebody different, right? So James Bond type reflexes, shaken, not stirred. When I'm mixing up my letters, golden eye fixed on the thunderbolt. Check this, diamonds are forever, so I eat them for breakfast. So Ren kind of just cleverly weaves James Bond references to flaunt, I guess, his skill and smoothness on the microphone. You know, this series of lines is like, I guess it just reflects his confidence and his style that he's trying to describe to you. You know, each Bond reference emphasizes that he's got a license to kill, right? I think he mentioned that in a different song, right? But this is what his lyrical prowess is what he's saying. I like at the end of Murderer, he goes, and I don't mean metaphorically lyrical bullets. I mean actually kill him, squeeze the trigger and pull it. That shit was hilarious. He was like, nah, I'm not being metaphoric, I'm being dead ass. But he's being metaphor. He's being metaphor. But in conclusion, I would say Love Music Part 2 was fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it. You know, humorous. I like when I can get a good laugh. Sometimes I need a break from Ren, not to another artist, but just from Ren, from his typical music, right? The deep themes, right? Sometimes I like some fun. And he always has one of those in the tuck, you know what I'm saying? He could always provide that. So with this series, I'm glad it had that, right? The first one was fun as well. But, you know, it was just a whirlwind of just clever wordplay, I would say. Humor, you know, cultural references. He made a couple of those. You know, he just balanced introspection with humor, which is not easy to do, and a love for music at the same time. So he's keeping to the theme. You know, it's self-aware twist, I would say, right? But by drawing in on these influences from the 90s, you know, even the James Bond, you know, hip-hop's golden era, right? He crafts a unique sound that I guess celebrates creativity at the same time, but without taking it too serious at the same time, you know what I mean? So his message is clear, right? He's always clear with his message. Stay authentic, right? Enjoy the ride, and don't be afraid to be a little insane. Is how I take from all of this right here. But anyways, man, that was Love Music Part 2. I had fun. That was good. Now on to Part 3. We out.
You know it's all just fun and games, yeah, honey. You got me smiling like there's something funny. This music soothes my soul like